Okay, we want to solve this quadratic using the quadratic formula. So we've completed the square on a couple of them. Now we want to use the quadratic formula. And really, when we run into quadratics, and you're going to run into a lot here as we move forward solving these polynomials, our goal is to get it down to a quadratic, and then you can use whatever you're most comfortable with. If you like to complete the square, that's probably my favorite, complete the square. If you're like, you know what, quadratic formula is my thing, use a quadratic formula. It really doesn't matter, but we do need to be comfortable solving quadratics. So that's why I like to review these a little bit with you. So let's solve this. So it's already in descending order, so that's good. Let me just identify here. So there's my A, my B, my C. Notice these are P's, my variable. That doesn't matter at all. Our equation is X equals. We could do P equals in this case. That doesn't matter one bit. So let's plug things in. In fact, let me just write the quadratic formula here to kind of refresh our memory. So X equals negative B plus or minus square root B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. Now, this is something that if you're going to use the quadratic formula, you should know. It's not going to be provided for you in a college algebra class like this, so it's not hard to come up with. So this is something I would go ahead and remember and practice so you can come up with that. Now really it's just plug and play. So let's plug things in. So negative b, so that's going to be negative 8 plus or minus b squared. So I'll just write it like this, 8 squared, of course that's 64, minus 4 times a, which is 7, times c, which is negative 11. Make sure we get that sign in there, okay? All over 2 times a, and a again is 7. Now, you just got to be careful with signs, simplify things. Minus, minus here, so we're going to end up adding, and we could just plug that in our calculator. So negative 8 plus or minus, and let me go and grab my calculator. So go right there. Let's just plug that in quick. So 8 squared, of course that's 64, plus 4 times 7 times 11, and that is 372. So 372 all over 14. And now we wanted to see if we can simplify things. So negative 8 plus or minus all over 14. So this is where we want to try to simplify square root of 372. Let's maybe see if we can pull something out of that. Some calculators will just simplify radicals for you. In fact, I've got another one, not right here, that'll just simplify radicals. Normally I just plug it in to save time. But let's see, 372 divided by 36. Okay, that one didn't work. 372 divided by 16. I'm just trying some perfect squares here, right? Divided by 9. Not working for me. 372 divided by 4. Okay, well, I started too big. I thought maybe we'd get a bigger one to come out. So 93. So 4 will go into it. 93 I don't think is going to simplify. And so we could write that as 2 root 93. So 4 times 93 again is 372. And so now one last step, let's simplify this. And remember, here's a common mistake I see. People will simplify this but forget that this whole top thing is divided by 14. So we can divide all these by 2. So I get negative 4 plus or minus square root of 93 all over 7. Not a real pretty answer, but an answer nonetheless. Now, one way, check yourself, because if you're doing that, I have no idea, is that answer even reasonable? It's hard to tell just looking at it. Well, let's go back to our calculator. We can check ourselves. One easy way to do that, let me just scoot this over. If I graph it, so go to your graph on your calculator and type it in, and let's go ahead and graph it. Of course, it's just a parabola. We do see it crosses the x-axis 2 places, so there are 2 real solutions. So the easiest way to check this, you could just go to your trace menu and you can plug values in. So again, if I do like 2, it tells me the y value that goes with that. Well, in this case, I want to know if this x value gives me 0 for my y value. So I'm going to plug that in. So I'm going to do -4 plus square root of 93 all divided by 7. And lo and behold, it gives me 0 for my y. Now you could test the other one, but if one of them works, the plus or minus, the other one's going to work as well. So that's just a good way when you're solving an equation. Go verify that what you got came out and actually worked, especially if it's kind of a ugly looking answer like that.